Welcome to the playing portion of Power Up. Hi, I'm Maude, Garrett, and I'm joined by Trisha Hirschberger, where every single week we talk about what's playing, watching, and reading in people's lives. Usually it's ours, but this is a guest week that we have on, and I'm so thrilled to have this absolute gaming legend as a guest for this Power Up, Mari Takahashi, who has done a bunch of things. She co-founded Smosh Games. She's now on Speedrun, which is a Polygon show on Quibi. She does fantastic things. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really thrilled to hear about what you've been playing because I know that you love gaming.
Thanks for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be a dragon rider.
Yes.
Very excited about that. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, quarantine has allowed me to play more video games at night, and spend so much more time not sleeping because, waking up and not having to have to put on makeup sometimes and all that stuff and being a total mess inside is okay these days. So yeah. Been playing some stuff.
Tell us about your stream channel, just in case people want to head over there and, I don't know, follow and do that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm now an official Twitch streamer. I've been streaming for 2 months now. And I stream 3 days a week. And 2 of those days I'm usually chatting and playing games. One of those days will be starting this week, and it'll be a Survivor-centric show. And so I'll have another Survivor castmate of mine. For those of you who don't know, I was on Survivor on season 33, Millennials versus Gen X. And Hannah from the show, we are going to be doing just, catching up and talking. Every time we do talk, we talk for like 4 hours at a time. So we're going to be talking, and we're going to be raising money every week for another castmate named Sunday, who is going through a lot of trouble with her health right now. Her cancer has come back, and she's she's an absolute fighter, and she's one of the most positive people that I've ever come across. But we want to do something for her, and we want to continue to honor our time together on the island. So yeah, that'll be on Sundays. We're calling it Sundays for Sunday.
I love that.
What time on Sundays, Mari?
Sundays.
TBA for timing right now. We're trying to figure it out to see what time is best for Sunday as well, as she will be a guest sometimes.
Yes, and Maude was talking about eating Sundays on it.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Maude, thank you. Producer credit.
If I'm good at anything, it's the idea, not the execution, just the idea. That sounds really cool. And I love that you're finding routine with that, because I've noticed that, especially in lockdown, when I've got structure in my day, it's been really beneficial for me. What times during the week are you doing your gaming and hang out with Mari sessions?
Those are on Wednesdays and Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Nice. We got a couple of games that you've been playing here. One of them you're kind of under embargo though, but what can you tell us about the first game?
Okay, the first game is Ghost of Tsushima. It drops about in a week. Actually, in a week it drops. And yeah, you're right. I can't talk about it too much. I will say I'm really, it's gorgeous. But I think everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows the Akira Kurosawa inspirations, and just, there's so much movement throughout the entire game that's really beautiful. One thing that I'm really grateful that they have kept true to is how much attention to detail that they've put in with culture and customs, as far as the relations that they have with people. I think for us Westerners, it's really easy to see, a handshake to build trust between people, a hand on the shoulder to create more intimacy with somebody, or to represent that, or even a hug. But they've kept really true to the culture and the customs, and you don't see any of that. And I'm really, really glad that they're still able to have this really compelling story come through, and still show that there's trust, relationships, and respect amongst people without having to have to show that there is, physical touch. And I love that about that. I'm grateful for that.
Can you talk a little bit more about those customs in Japan and why physical touch is not necessarily something that is exchanged to build, I guess, bond?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't know about the why, actually. I don't know if it's tied to, things like religion and whatnot. I just know that that's always been the way. And I feel like, sometimes in movies and media that gets lost. I think Ghost in the Shell is a really good example of it, where, the title character, she's a Japanese person in the shell of somebody else. And in so many ways, like, I was perfectly fine with Scarlett Johansson playing that role, because at the end of the day, it's just a shell. The outside does not matter. It's who it is on the inside. And, for Kusanagi to be on the inside, I think that it was important for that character to have cultural things that really stood out. It should look like there's somebody else in Scarlett Johansson's body, like somebody else moving inside her body, to the point where those customs should be there. Like that hug she had with her mom, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't, because it's just not customary. I can't, like my mom and I didn't hug until I was well into adulthood and had an embrace like that. I remember my dad talking about people at my mom's business, and she has a ballet school and it's very family centric. There's a lot of families who flow in and out. And because of Western culture, when they're trying to express gratitude, they would hug my dad and say, like, thank you so much. That was a great show and whatnot. And I remember him talking about it. He's like, I have to tell you something, Ayako, my mom's name. He's like, Mrs. Wong embraced me tonight. And I'm like, Dad, that was a hug. I'm like, I was there. She was like happy about the performance and she was like saying thank you. And he's like, she embraced me. And I was like, that's a hug, Dad. You got to get used to it. This is what we do over here.
But I love those sort of differences, and I love the respect behind cultures. I think especially now, it's like we really need to start learning different perspectives and understanding these rituals in a way. And something as small as handing something to someone else is a sign of respect, and you must use two hands to give and to receive. Those sorts of things are incredibly integral and important. And I think, it's a sign of respect at the end of the day. But that's really interesting because that's not something that I would ever sort of like be aware of in a video game in those senses. So I think that's really, really cool.
Can you tell us, Mari, if you're playing Ghost of Tsushima in Samurai Cinema mode or not?
Yes. So I'm going back and forth with the Samurai Cinema, which is Japanese language, English subtitles, and then the Kurosawa version, which is black and white, in order to, emulate the Kurosawa movies that we all know, like Yojimbo and Seven Samurai and stuff like that. And it's so dramatic. It's very, very dramatic, but at the same time, the colors are just so beautiful. Like half of my gameplay has been just me taking pictures and doing photo ops, because the world is gorgeous. It's they've kept their foot in rooting it in reality while making it I don't know, like I think highlighting all the mystical parts that nature already is capable of without making it fantastical.
That's really cool. Yeah, the show that I'm doing for fandom right now is a weekly video game show, and we did a poll asking people if they thought for Ghost of Tsushima for their first playthrough they were going to do the Kurosawa mode or if they were going to play it through in just normal mode. And overwhelmingly people said, I'm really excited to check out the Samurai Cinema Kurosawa mode, but on my second playthrough, because the colors are so nice.
The best thing about it is that you can go back and forth.
Yeah.
You don't have to stick with the one, which I'm very glad about, because yes, I do think that it is the type of game that many people will play over and over. I think I'll play it 3 times. The only other game that I've played 3 times is Skyrim. I think that's the only other game that I've ever done that with. And so it's like, I do think that I will, yeah, I think that's how many playthroughs. Very exciting.
Very exciting. And now, because we're asking you probably too many questions about Ghost of Tsushima, and I know it's still under embargo, you've been playing a lot of Minecraft Dungeons, haven't you?
Yes, that's been a fun one to play on stream specifically, because like I mentioned before, I really enjoy like taking a look at chat and being active in chat. And Minecraft Dungeons is one of those games where it can become difficult, but at the same time, it's got that like nice mindlessness of not having to have to think of too many things at once. Like it's very it's linear in the sense like you know what you need to get done, you know what you're going to look for. There's no crafting involved. There's just not too much more that you need to focus on, and so I've had a really enjoyable time playing that while being active in the chat.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Well, Maude, it's essentially, I only got to play it for a few hours, so Mari, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's essentially like a Minecraft skin of Diablo. So it's like, think of like Diablo Light. It's a dungeon crawler, but Minecraft.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to hear you speak of it that way, Mari, because I only played it for a few hours when it was in like, I think it was either an early beta, a streamable beta or something like that. But I didn't enjoy it at all. Now, granted, I played by myself. I wasn't playing with any friends, which I'm sure would make it a lot more fun. But I also was just like, this is so easy. Like, I feel like maybe this is something I could play with my son in a year, but it's not something, like, it just made me want to play a real dungeon crawler. Like, I just wanted to turn it off and play Diablo 2.
It is definitely easy. It is 100% Diablo Light.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I like it. I think in this world right now, like I don't have the heart to play like Bloodborne. Like I just don't. The over and over of like defeat, I don't know if I want that in my life right now, and I think that's one of the reasons why Dungeons has been nice for me. It feels like you can kind of leave the game on a win. And yeah, you're totally right. Like playing with kids, I think it's a fantastic family game. Like I'm looking forward to playing it with like my nephews, although they're still on Fortnite. They love playing Fortnite. My goodness,
everybody's favorite.
But yeah,
when I did that gig with the giant dude who I think had a kid with a Kardashian, that is not my world, but like that was awesome. I was just looking at some like the holographic notions of that giant. Is it Travis Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, they're having concerts and
yeah. We just don't see that in video games, and so I kind of loved that they were breaking down the walls of what is possible in a game. Like, what does a lot of money look like? And I was like, whoa, there it is. That's kind of cool. So yeah, there you go.
I think that it's just the beginning of seeing different modes of entertainment brought into video games. I think, like we've already seen, Marvel clashing with Fortnite. We're now seeing concerts in lieu of being able to go to real concerts. Yeah. We're seeing Black Lives Matter protests happening in Sims. Like we're seeing all these IRL things clashing with games, and games are now becoming a medium for having live events in lieu of what's happening. I don't think it's going to stop because there are still people out there who have never been able to go to these, large live events with lots of people for many different reasons, whether it's disabilities or you being compromised or whatnot, or, for any other reasons. Maybe you just don't like crowds, but you still want to be able to appreciate and experience these bigger than life concerts and things like that. I think it's just the beginning.
Yeah, agreed. Shout out to Gary Whitta's Animal Crossing Animal Talking show.
Yes.
So good. I can't believe he had Sting on as a guest, and Sting did a live set in Animal Crossing. Like it's
didn't see that.
It's crazy. It's very, very cool. Shout out to Gary Whitta. Highly recommend.
There you go. Sting plays Animal Crossing?
Apparently.
I think
He's
that's
got like kids that are right on that age, so I guess it happened through. I mean, I'm making this up now, like how he got into it. Maybe he's just really digging Animal Crossing. But that is all we have for playing. But we are going to move into the Bombs Away Q&A portion where Amy is going to come in and she's going to ask us a question. But Mari, we'll let you kind of handle the heavy lifting of that question. But hi, Amy, how are you?
Hi.
This week's show.
Yeah. So this question is actually from Geek Bomb's Patreon. Patreon.com/geekbomb is where you can go. But I will also be getting one from Twitch right now. So this one's from Ollie Morrison. He asked, if you could spend your quarantine lockdown with any fictional character, who would you choose and what would you get up to?
I'm blushing on mine.
You know, this is my first answer. The first answer that I thought of is literally cooking mama so that she can cook me stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like all I want is just some like really yummy like homemade curry rice, because I've made it a couple times, but you know, it doesn't have that like real like, I don't know what it is, the homemade quality of it. And yeah, I think I just want a cooking mama to cook for me.
That is smart. You can tell you're married. I am going to go with Link from the Zelda games because he doesn't talk. All he says is, ha, hey, and that's all I need. I don't necessarily want to yell.
Now,
And
Maude,
what would we get up to? I'll let you use your imagination.
Maude, I thought for sure you were going to go that direction with it, but I thought it was going to be Geralt of Rivia. I didn't think you were going to go Link.
You know what? I've seen so much of Geralt's backside that I kind of wouldn't mind looking at the front side. Yeah.
Where's that front side?
What's the front side up to?
Where's the Game of Thrones modification?
Oh, but you know what? Chat brings up a great point. Says Geralt's also very chatty, so you have to keep that in mind if you're going Link for the.
But he's really good at mediating. But I mean, there's no fights breaking out here. There's nothing happening here.
Yeah.
What do you, Trisha?
I mean, I would probably choose Tifa Lockhart so that she could train me with like Dolphin Flurry, but IRL. Like, I want to learn all the moves, and quarantine's a great time to train with someone, so it would be perfect.
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Ha 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 ha! You're so lovely, and you can be my best friend forever.
Yep.
Thank you, Mom.
That's a great question, Ollie. Thanks.
That's a great question.
This next question is from the Catnip Ninja on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
Which would you rather have in real life from games? A save point, a heads-up display, infinite inventory, or you could loot every time you break something?
I would go a save point, because if I did something like, I don't know, got hit by a bus, or, laughed so hard I sharded in front of someone that I liked, I'd be able to be like, hold that thought, and I'd be able to start that day again.
Is a save point immortality?
In a way, yeah, and you get to undo every mistake.
I mean, I guess at some point of old age, you wouldn't be able to, like, save. And, well, I mean, I guess whenever your last save point was, you could keep going back to that save point at the very end if you wanted to. But yeah, I would probably agree with you, Maude. I think save point, because I'm someone who's hypercritical of everything that I do in my life. So it might end up being, like, the worst thing ever for someone who's a bit of a control freak personality type, but I think in the short term it would make me very happy to be able to undo mistakes.
I'm thinking about it a lot, obviously, because that's what I do, and I'm noticing that because in a previous game I saved it at the wrong spot, and so I saved it right after something really bad had happened, so I could only go back to after that bad thing. And not before it. So it's like the time that you save, you have to be really smart with. But then I also thought that if I ever had a child, then after that would be my save point, so I would never have to relive that.
Yeah, good call.
Thank you.
Have you all caught up on Rick and Morty?
No.
I'm not, but that's okay. Go.
There's an episode that is about this, and basically Morty goes through a wonderful life with this person, starts to grow old with this person, but didn't didn't make any save points in that time, and somebody hits the save point thing and goes way back to the beginning.
No.
It's heartbreaking and so real. I don't know. I think I want to loot stuff. I love looting. I want to be a looter. Whatever the loot one is. Break stuff and loot stuff, that's one. I'll pick that one.
Actually, you're getting hit in the comments for not selecting that one as well. So.
Well, because in video games, I am a total loot goblin. Like, don't get me wrong, find the loot everywhere. But in real life, because it had to break something in there, I'd feel bad about breaking and stealing somebody's stuff in real life. Whereas in like Final Fantasy VII Remake, for example, I'm like, yeah, I'm taking this materia right out of the orphanage. What? That's some loot on the table.
Dogs, and you're just like walking by and you're like, loot, $5.
Yoink.
Ooh, that person got 100.
Yep. I feel like in real life I would feel too guilty. But in video games, 100% loot goblin, yes.
Great question. Thank you so much, Amy, for the Bombs Away Q&A that we've had for the power section. Watching and reading is still to come, and we're going to bring Murray back to share what she's been doing in those. So, guys, make sure that you are following Trisha on her Twitch page and that you are subscribed to Geek Bomb because there'll be a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere.
Yay!